Hello and welcome to Fernbank Science Center's The Sky This Week for the beginning of August 2021. We start the week with a cross quarter day on August 1st, end with a waning crescent moon at the end of the week, and the planet Saturn is in opposition on August 2nd. We tend to think of calendars and seasons by solstices and equinoxes. In the old calendar, in medieval times, people thought of cross quarter days, divided up the year more based on weather than on solstices and equinoxes. Remember back in June, what we call the first day of summer, around the 22nd? And we call September 22nd this year the first day of fall. Halfway in between, we have it this week, August 1st. In the old calendar, what we call the equinox for summertime was more midsummer. That was the middle of the warm weather. And August 1st celebrated Lammas. It was the day celebration for the very first crops of grain that had been harvested and ground into flour and made into loaves of bread, and was celebrated as loaf mass. We don't think about bread very much. You just go to the store and buy a loaf. But if your entire survival is based on what's growing in the ground and harvested at the right time and planted at the right time using the sky as a calendar, loaf mass or loaves of bread become a little more special. August 2nd, the planet Saturn is at opposition. Think about how planets orbit the sun, kind of like cars around a racetrack. The planets farther from the sun move more slowly along the racetrack. Planets closer to the sun move along their orbits more quickly. We looked at the planet Saturn a week or two ago. Big bright rings of ice, stormy surface, everybody's favorite to look at through a telescope. Opposition, the planet Saturn, takes almost 30 years to move all the way around its orbit one time. Earth circles the sun in 1 year. And when the two of us line up on the same side of the sun so that Saturn is opposite the sun from Earth, this diagram is not to scale, then Saturn is up all night long, pretty much, if you have a clear, dark sky. See if you can find Saturn and Jupiter in the evening sky or the early night sky. You'll need to know which way is which outside for your observing place. If you're not sure about directions, figure out which way the sun appears to rise. Point your left shoulder in that direction, that's east, and you'll be facing the direction south. On this image, all the bright objects are exaggerated in size. On your real night sky, unless you're way out in the country, you won't be able to see this beautiful cloud of the Milky Way across the night sky in the summertime. But some of the bright summer stars are visible. This fishhook shape or long J shape pattern for the constellation of Scorpius, the scorpion, star Antares at his heart. Another bright star, the star Aquila in the constellation of the Eagle. The star's name is Altair. And the two bright planets, big ones, Jupiter much brighter than Saturn, but both maybe a quarter of the way up the sky on that southeast horizon. Add in the lines and dots, and things get really confusing. Scorpius, long fishhook shape. Aquila the Eagle. Use a lot of imagination on this one. Saturn in the constellation Capricornus, and bright Jupiter with its bright moon Io through a telescope. Early the next morning, August 3rd, see if you can find the waning crescent moon near some wintertime constellations. The moon looks like a fading fingernail, and there's a tiny V shape or greater than sign, the face of Taurus the bull, with his bright eye star Aldebaran. Straight down from Aldebaran are the three stars of Orion's belt: shoulders, knees. Again, on the real sky, all these are tiny dots of stars and much bigger than they appear on this picture. On the third, that crescent moon is near the face of Taurus the bull. Zoom in a little bit closer. There's that V shape or sideways V. Aldebaran, the bright star. But a few days later, when the moon has moved along its orbit, the last thin, faint, waning crescent moon might just be visible near the eastern horizon at that same early morning time. Just like before, Aldebaran and the face of Taurus the bull, those three stars of Orion's belt are slightly higher on the sky than they were. Earth has moved along our orbit a few days. We're looking from a little bit different angle. Aldebaran, the eye of the bull, might even be kind of reddish colored to you. And then there are two stars that mark the heads of the Gemini brothers, Castor and Pollux. They look a little sideways in the sky this early in the morning. Castor's head is here. Think of his body down this way and a foot sticking out here, an arm waving hello, good morning from the top of the sky. Pollux, his brother, long body, foot sticking out over here. His arm is pointing down toward the east. And if you can have a really clear, really dark, early morning sky, see if you can find that last fading crescent moon just before the sun rises. And as always, thank you for listening. Thank you for paying attention on Fernbank Science Center's website, www.fernbank.edu. Find our Facebook page with our Friday evening virtual planetarium programs and Saturday science programs, and have a great week.